'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
Bienvenidas al podcast Dos Bold Latinas. Aquí están sus hosts, Jatna Abreu
y Rosibel Madera Vialet, dos latinas feministas born in Santo Domingo y in New York.
Passionate about Latina empowerment, Spanglish,
learning, growth, and so much more. Hola mujeres, estamos en un nuevo año, a pesar de que todavía estamos viviendo tiempos diferentes. Pero yo espero de que ya hayan escrito sus metas y si no la han escrito, de que la tengan ya casi terminadas. Pero yo quiero dejarles saber de que cuando yo escribí mis metas, sobre todo el tema de mi vision board, mi cuadro, fue amor propio. Ese es the title of my vision board para este año 2021. Y siento que ha sido muy importante porque en la trayectoria desde que iniciamos Dos Volatinas, este es nuestro episodio que dice del segundo año, like our first episode of our first year anniversary, ¿verdad?
Yes.
And it's just super exciting. And if you guys follow us on Instagram, which if you don't, follow us at Dos Volatinas. And like I was telling Jan, like I feel like we have geared most of like trying to empower Latinas with self-love and self-care. And we were like, oh, I feel like it's the perfect way to like iniciar el año hablando de self-love. So, yo lo que le pregunto a ustedes es, ¿qué tal está tu autoestima? Como dije, hoy conversaremos sobre self-love porque self-love as a woman is the key to success. Y yo sinceramente en un año tengo que 30 años y tuve que esperar hasta estas alturas de mi vida para darme cuenta de que en verdad mi valor, el éxito para yo poder ser la jefa de mi vida tengo que tener amor propio. Y ha sido porque when you embrace yourself, taking each flaw you think you have and turn it into a strength. Like our time and energy really is demanded from many loved ones, especially as a woman in our lives, which makes it easy to forget about our self-care. Like, I honestly think that self-care and self-love come hand in hand. For example, when you accept and are thankful to be who you are, that is self-love. And then taking the time to do things you love is self-care. Like that's so far has been the experience for us in this self-love journey. For example, they are both a journey in our lives while it takes time to discover what we like and don't like to really get to know ourselves. So for example, in order to start accepting your body and nourishing it with what you like, setting boundaries in your life is self-care. While you first learn to value yourself via self-love. And I just wanted to kick it off with that to like how you start thinking about like, okay, self-love, do I have that in my life? Am I learning it? It doesn't matter where you are in that journey, but Jana and I today are going to share our personal experiences because you know how we are of wanting to connect with you, and this is why we created this space. And let's hear from Jatna's great personal self-love experience.
Yes, thank you, Rosie. And yes, ladies, welcome to our first episode of 2021. It is our first year into this like podcast, Latina podcast life. So we're super excited to see like where we take us from here. But talking about self-love and like taking care of yourself, for me, the way I learned that was through my mom. My mom is in the military, and she pretty much like gave her whole life to be in the military, and she never really learned how to take care of herself earlier in her life. She really waited until she was, I don't know, I want to say like in her 40s, until she figured out that, or realized que she needed to put herself first, because she was always putting her job first, or us, her kids first as well, and like her husband also, because, you know, in the Dominican Republic, as we all know, it's a very traditional country, y la mujer, regardless of you having a job so demanding como mi mamá, like being in the military and being active, you know, she still have to deliver like at home and take care of like us three. There's three of us, my brother, my sister, and I, and also her husband, so my dad. And so, you know, she had this like all these responsibilities that she needed to take care of, but she never put herself first. It was always jobs and then like family, and then that's it. And so I learned from her that like I didn't want to wait that long to realize that like I needed to put myself first, even without having children. So looking at my mom and her journey, and looking that le tomó mucho tiempo realize that she was important and that she needed to put herself first to be able to help others. That's when I realized that like, okay, I'm taking my mom como una role model, and I think I need to also, you know, look at that and take that for myself. And even before I start creating a family, I should probably take care of myself first. So that's when I realized, you know, después que me gradué de la universidad, and then started to date, you know, like me casé también. Nunca, obviamente no tuve hijo hasta que tuve como los 25 años. So like I was married for like 5 years before I even had kids. And so that was, for me, was a good time for me to like discover myself and embrace the things like that I wanted to embrace about myself. And that's when I discovered like, hey, like I don't have all these responsibilities. Maybe I should start taking care of myself and learning to do that now, so that when I do have more responsibilities, like having a kid, I'm gonna be a good, you know, like that's gonna be I don't know, it's gonna be easier for me to do it, because now I know how to do those things. So nada, yo comencé a, you know, like pretty much like understand what taking care of yourself, like what that meant. And so saw other people doing that, and then like started to realize que a mí me gustaba, you know, like go shopping. You know, I was like, oh, you know, that's taking care of yourself. Like I love doing that. Or, you know, just watching like my favorite show on TV, or just spending time with my husband, que no teníamos hijo right at the time, so just like the two of us. And also like just literally like just sitting down and like doing things that I care, you know, that I care about, that like make me feel good, make me feel better. And ya cuando, you know, I learned that it's something that it was important for me to make myself feel better, for me to be recharged. Ya cuando tuve mi hijo, se me hizo fácil, porque ya yo entendía que, okay, cuando vengan los niños, it's like I even more so, I have to take care of myself, because si no, you know, like if I don't take care of myself, then like how am I going to be able to take care of him? So eso algo que like I spoke to my husband very early, and I say, you know, like I still, yes, I'm a mom, and yes, I do have responsibilities, like we both do, but I still need my me time. And I don't know if that's selfish or anything, but like desde que él nació, it was something that like I would say, you know, un weekend tú te quedas con él, like at least un Saturday, like you stay with him so I can go out and do the things that I like doing, like getting my nails done, or like getting a pedicure, or getting my hair done, or my eyebrows done, you know, things like that, or even go shopping. I was very clear with him that like these are things that are gonna recharge me, so I could be a better mom, so I could be a better wife. So therefore, like, you need to make sure that I get that time. But no obstante, I also let him take the time too. Mm-hmm. So we would, you know, he loves playing baseball, and he is usually in the summertime in a league, a baseball league. So we would take turns where I would take Saturdays, you know, for myself, and then he would take Sundays, because those are the days they will play. And then he would take that time for himself, and I would take care of you know, I would, you know, stay with Jebby. So, you know, you kind of have to balance it out. You can't just like, oh, just me. You also have to realize that like when you do have kids, like if you guys do, that it has to be like a balance where you both need your own time. And then you just have to, learn from that and start embracing it, like the both of you. So that's kind of my journey. I know it was like a long story, but that's how it started, and this is where I am today.
Yeah, and it just keeps growing. Pero I just want to say thank you, Jatna. And fun fact, I want to say, okay, I probably had heard the terminology self-love, self-care, esto y lo otro. But I never had a conversation of someone sitting down with me growing up and saying, mija, tú tienes que aprender a amarte. Like, me decían, oh, sí, píntate, arréglate. And I always hear my aunts saying, oh, no, yo no esperaba a mi esposo en rolo. Yo estaba siempre cambiadita y pintadita. So to me, it was always like, oh, ¿para qué yo tengo que estar haciendo eso para fulano? Like, I never ran across of, do something for yourself. Do something que tú te sientas bien contigo misma. De que tú ames tu cuerpo, de que tú ames tu pelo, de que tú ames tu piel, de que tú ames tu ser. Like for you to enjoy being alone with yourself. Like
Yes.
that was never explained to me.
Rather than like doing those things as you're mentioning, Rosy, like, oh, píntate a todo esto, like, vete bonita, vete profesional. Not for yourself, but for other people, like to benefit
Yes.
other people so
Yes.
they can, so they can see you like, oh, she looks this way, to just benefit them so they can feel a certain way about you and how you look like,
Yeah.
but no, for yourself, your own benefit, so yeah, I think you're right. Like it's something that we don't really talk about when we're younger, like, or like you'd tell girls to, like, you know what I mean? Like, think about themselves and like everything they do is for themselves, not for like other people.
Yeah. And then to love yourself naturally. Yo me recuerdo, desde chiquita me hacían deslizado en mi pelo. Like, I would get a relaxer on my hair. Like, why wasn't I taught to love my hair the way it was? Why did I need to change my hair? Like, like, yo no crecí siendo flaca, so no crecí escuchando de que, oh, no coma tanto, esto y lo otro. Sin embargo, me decían, pero cómete toda la comida. Pero sí puedo ver de que hay niñas de que tienen que crecer escuchando, no coma tanto, tú sí estás gorda. Entonces, imagínate cómo esa niña crece.
Es el problema. Ya ahí la niña no tiene self-confidence.
Yep.
And then it's always trying to look good for other people.
Yeah.
Rather than de cómo ella se va a sentir ella.
So, en verdad yo siento como que es algo más cultural, como que no se habla de eso, de que ámate y te dicen cuídate, pero no te dejan saber de que cuídate amándote. ¿Tú me entiendes? Y yo recuerdo que yo comencé a trabajar en el área corporativa, mi jefa me decía, ¿y qué tú hiciste este fin de semana? Yo le decía todo lo que yo hice, dijo, and she would say, so you didn't do anything for yourself? I'm like,
That's
what
a
do you
good
mean? She's like, what did you do, like, for you to, decompose from the work week and recharge, something that you enjoy? I would just talk about taking care of family, doing chores, doing stuff for other people. And I didn't realize that. And then to be honest, guys, like when I started talking to Jana, that's when I started realizing more of what is self-love and what is self-care. And it started making sense to me. And that's when I started following like pages on Instagram and getting to like just following that trend, I would say, and to see like what it was. And when I started like doing little things, I realized like, you know what? I'm happier and I have more energy with my kids and I don't feel like so negative. Like I look forward. Yeah, como que yo no estoy, I don't snap like that so easily because like I've had the time to like, calm down and think about like, what does Josibel like to do? And also I just want to say like part of my personal experience was that if you guys have heard before a little bit of, I grew up in a family business, and you know how they say that term, work to live? Mm-hmm. Well, in my house, I grew up thinking, and like el ejemplo que se me dio is live to work.
Yes.
And still to this day, like I remember, so to this day, I feel bad doing stuff and knowing that my parents are out there like working their butts off, that they don't have any days off, that they don't do anything for leisure. Like my dad, he kind of does it, but like my mom, no. Like yo veía, like growing up, and that's another thing. Like yo no vi un ejemplo en mi casa. Like Jana, she saw a little bit from her mom, but for my mom, mami iba al salón ya porque ya no sabe hacerse su pelo.
Pero tu mamá a lo mejor iba al salón porque no solamente porque no se sabe hacer su pelo, porque ella también quería verse bien para otra gente. Para que la gente no le dijera, como te decían a ti, like, peínate ese pelo, que tú no te ves profesional, like, eso era tu mamá, like, déjame yo ir al salón, hacerme el pelo, aunque no tenga tanto tiempo, pero para beneficiar al otro, para que el otro no me vea como una loca, ¿no? Porque yo pienso que, like, me quiero ver bien.
A mí nunca me dijeron eso, Rocío, tú tienes que verte bien para ti, no era, like, tú tienes que siempre estar así, y que todo lo otro, and it's like, yo tengo una hija y yo digo, yo tengo que cambiar por mí, y después que yo la tuve a ella, mucho más. Like, yo he dicho antes, yo lloré cuando mi niña nació porque yo decía, man, va a ser difícil. Y en verdad sí sale de ahí, like, en cómo tú te criaste. Y en el estilo de vida que yo crecí, no es que, y no crean de que yo no crecí con amor, no, yo crecí como que demasiado amor, tan sobreprotective, pero yo no entendía el concepto de que yo tenía que amarme yo misma, porque, por ejemplo, no es por dármela, pero yo crecí de que, que tú eres una niña bonita, una niña esto, like, muchos halagos, pero para mí se me hacía difícil aceptarlo. Y como eso viene como con el self-confidence, yo nunca ahora que yo estoy entendiendo, like, la importancia del self-confidence, y por eso que yo he decidido, like, tengo que amarme yo, porque si yo no tengo ese amor propio, yo no tengo autoestima. Y para todo el que me conoce, like, yo digo que eso ha sido, like, el flaw más grande que yo tengo es esa autoestima, cuando yo digo, like, pues yo lo tengo todo, ¿y por qué yo me siento así? Pues he estado trabajando en convertir esa falta de autoestima en algo que yo puedo mejorar como persona, y cambiarle ese concepto de que, yo me siento que soy bruta para esto. No, ponte a ver de que tú no eres bruta para eso, de que tú lo aprendiste, que si otra persona lo ha hecho, tú también lo puedes hacer.
Además, acuérdate que nadie nació sabiendo. Y uno puede aprender eso de growth mindset, right? Like, tú puedes aprender todo por, practicando y estudiando y leyendo y todo eso. Nadie nace sabiendo.
Exactamente. Y hablando de eso de los mindsets, como yo he echado un par de libritas en estos últimos meses, porque mi estilo de vida ha cambiado.
¿Quién no, Rosy? I'm pretty
yo era
sure
una
a lot of us have.
So, para mí ha sido, tú sabes, todavía yo tengo como, yo adoro a mi papá, pero él es el que más me dice, ¿y esa barriga? Y el esposo mío, imagínate, los dos hombres que yo más adoro en mi vida me dicen, ¿y esa barriga? Pero con Jana yo he aprendido que ella me dice, ponte ropa con la cual tú te sientes cómoda, con la cual te haga ver bien, en vez de tú nada más estar mirándote en el espejo, deprimida, y que te pone a llorar a veces. Y eso también me ha cambiado mi mentalidad de que yo tengo que aceptarme como yo soy al momento. Pero no significa que yo me voy a descuidar, no significa que yo voy a decir, no, yo estoy así y no voy a hacer nada. Si yo no me siento cómoda como yo estoy, no es que yo me voy a... It's not like I'm not going to stop, like, saying, I hate myself, but I am going to do something about it. Because guys, I've never worked out before. Like, yo no hago ejercicio. And I grew up, my dad, he's all into exercising. Like, he has one at his house. So I grew up with that. But I never did it. Like, yo no bajaba ese gimnasio. He has the ball flats, he has the treadmill, the bike, todo eso. Y no. Pero ahora yo digo, okay, si yo yo siento que puedo mejorar en cómo yo me veo, ¿qué yo voy a hacer? Porque antes yo me quejaba, pero ¿qué yo hacía? No es que yo que hago ejercicio ahora, pero busco videos en YouTube de 7 o 10 minutos que yo sé que es algo que es realista, que yo voy a hacer un día, y estoy tomando pasos pequeños, y para yo sentirme bien. Y ahora mi niño me dice, Mami, remember, you gotta do your 10-minute workout. Y para terminar un poquito de mi jornada de amor propio, like the game changer for me has been like, what, I've been married now, 8 years? And I always, like a lot of my problems in my relationship were because of the lack of self-love I had. Like, I want to say 90% of the problems were because of that. And still are, but they have improved definitely in a year. Like, Jana could probably be a testimony on that. And I asked my brother this past weekend, or no, actually, yesterday, I was like, Eddie, do you feel that I've been like trying to focus more on myself and thinking about myself, putting myself first, and not downing myself so much? He's like, yeah, I've noticed that. I'm like, good, because I want to know, like, if it has been noticeable, because then I know that I've been putting the time into it and effort. Pero I'm like, I know it's gonna be mind blowing, but guys, I really did feel that my happiness had to come from my husband making me feel good. And yeah, can you imagine you holding your happiness accountable to someone else, esperando de que otra persona te diga, oh, tú estás linda, o tú estás, o yo te quiero, o hacer un gesto por ti para tú sentirte feliz? And so I changed that mindset. Like, now I am like happier, or now I think more about myself, or I put myself more as a priority, because I'm like, oh, like, that's not what I want to teach my kids, and that's not how I want to keep living my life. So it's like, I need to, if I'm not going to like make a big change in my life, I need to start making small moves. And to be honest, like, that has been my journey on self-love. I still have a lot to go, but we just wanted to share like our experience, because I feel there's so many women out there that still do lack that. And I'm surprised. I'm like, really? Like you are gorgeous. Like, why would you not love the way you are? And you find yourself that we're always comparing. Like, the person that you would not think has insecurities may have more insecurities than you have.
Oh, yeah.
So love yourself the way you are, your voice, your hair, your body, the way you think, what you like. Just love being with yourself, because you were made the way you are, and that's why you are unique, and that's why you are who you are, tu auténtica. Y comenzar a trabajar en la mejor versión de ti. Like, if you guys follow us on Instagram, you'll see that we've been using that hashtag, like yo premio, the heck out of that hashtag, because it's like, that's what it is. It's like, the self-love is constantly making sure you are the best version of yourself. And right now, Jana and I are going to share a little bit of like, what are some tips on that, the whole self-love, self-care. And I'm like, oh, those are like self-care tips. Pero como dije, I feel like when you love yourself, that's when you really start doing self-care exercise. And when I said la mejor versión de ti, beyond the look, like this thing that you're going to hear, we have a little journal coming out, and these tips are on there, and the name of the journal is named La Mejor Versión de Ti by Dos Volatinas. So Jana, let's kick it off with self-care stuff, porque te digo, like, I started more self-care stuff después hablando con Jana. Like, she was the one that made me realize, like, Rosie, you gotta do that.
Yes, and I mean, not only that, like, I think we also learned a lot more how to embrace the whole self-care, like self-love movement, because last year was such a tough year for all of us, especially for women in the workplace, like women that actually
don't let me go there.
And and like they wear multiple hats at home, and like having to be an employee, and then a wife, and then a mother, if you have kids, and then also take care of like your like other family members. Like, that takes a toll on women, especially when you're not like, it's not your regular routine. Like, it's just like staying home and having to do all those things like dumped at you, and having to do all of that like pretty much kind of like at the same time within the span of like 24 hours was really hard. And so it was a thing that like we always try to you know, in 2020, we said like, okay, you know, it is a hard year, but like there's other things we can still do to take care of ourselves. And so last year it started a lot with last year. And that's why like our like whole Instagram perspective of things that we posted kind of shifted, because we started to see that like, you know, self-care and self-love was like the main theme for 2020, given everything that had happened. And we want to continue to do that, you know, throughout 2021, because like, let's be honest, this isn't over yet. Like, we still have a few months to go. Hopefully not that much with the whole vaccine thing coming out, but still, like, it's still gonna take some time for us to go back to like our normal, you know, however, like whatever normal was for us before. So yeah, just, we want to share with you guys some self-care tips so that you can do that at home, you know, while you're home still. And so some of the things we have here, so like the first one is like listening to your favorite song. So if you have like a, you know, your favorite thing, like your favorite song that you love so much that you cannot like stop listening to, just like, you know, that's a self-care thing. Like, just listen to your favorite song. That's like simple, but it's still something that helps you, you know, like get out of the zone from other things that may be like worrying you.
Yeah, it's about, you know, being in love with yourself. Like, love listening to a song by yourself. Don't think that you need to be at a party or with friends,
right,
to listen to that. It's like, love that moment. And Jan, I want to add before I go to the second like tip of self-care. I feel like it's been more, you know how you've been saying, the journey perspective. It's been like a reality check for us. I hope that the habits that we have taken and the time to take care of ourselves and really that stays, because I've honestly felt like we're losing ourselves in like this society of on the go, and we never had the chance to like breathe. And now we're learning that we could do it, and we're still striving. Like, we're still like moms, we're still striving, working from home with kids. Like, for some of us, yeah, there's days that I say like, yep, I can't focus and I feel like I'm not doing a good job. But then when I talk to my boss or my counterparts, they're like, you're doing a good job. We just been managing it differently. So just want to like give props to that, and for you to like reflect like that it's possible to keep going. And if you hear something from this list that you like, to make it a priority. So the other one was like reading a motivating quote, and that really is the one that like comes to heart, or listening to something motivational, because when I'm feeling down, that's what I go towards. I'm like, you know what? That is true. I need to apply that. Like, I can't stay here in bed thinking like feeling sorry for myself. So yeah.
The other one is, you know, you can either like buy something that can help you, like where you can read like self-affirmation words, you know, every day reminds you of something, you know, to motivate you, just to say like, okay, I am, you know, smart, I am beautiful. I mean, like, it could be anything, but like self-affirmations like change your entire day, honestly.
Yes. And talking about changing your entire day, something else that's painting your nails. Like, I have painted my nails nada más para quitarme el otro día, because I know that washing dishes y lo otro se me quita, but at least for that day I felt sassy.
Yeah. And then you know, doing like, you know, those like face mask routines that like, you know, just like before bed, or like when you wake up, or like just, you know, just to like decompress and like have your face looking good, which it goes in hand with like a skincare. Like, just make sure you have a skincare routine, because honestly, like, as you know, as much as you want to stay healthy and everything, like, your skin is also it's like the biggest organ in your body. And you kind of have to replenish it, because it's the same as like if you eat a meal, like eating a meal and staying healthy that way. Like, it's also the same for like, you know, skincare. Just create a routine for that and you're gonna feel a lot better.
Yeah. And another thing is, watch a movie or a show or read a book which brings joy to you. Like, and like I said, it could be by yourself, because it's about learning what you like and being in love with yourself, and knowing that you are happy with doing it on your own, one-on-one.
And then also, you know, with the nature, just like go on a walk, whether it be by yourself or with someone else, but just go on a walk and make sure you either watch the sunset or sunrise. Like it's going to make you feel a lot better. Like once you have your own personal time to, to look at those things, like there's another perspective that comes in when you do, when you spend time with nature.
Yep. And for us foodies, I know we all love food. But don't eat your favorite meal, eat your favorite snack. Like just eat that ice cream, and that's what, like, if that's what that day you feel like doing. Because sometimes we're like, oh, like I shouldn't be eating that. Or even if it is something healthy, make the effort to go and make that meal for yourself.
Also, do something. If you're the type of person that likes to do things for other people, because that's what fills your heart, como Rosie, she loves to do that. If that makes you feel better, and that's like a way of you like taking care of yourself while taking care of someone else, then do that. Do something for someone else that makes you feel like better and fills your heart.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably is my hobby, John. I always say I don't know what my hobby is, but I think that's my hobby. And that's the next thing I want to say, like, practice your hobby. Like, now we have more leverage to like manage our schedules sometimes, even though if you're a mom, it's still hard, but we can still manage it. So go back to that. Find what is it that really fills your heart, which is a hobby. And it could be, many of us probably have hobbies of like dancing or doing yoga. So those could be things that you could probably do. Those are your hobby. Pero I just put that out there because that's something that's like general, but there are so many different hobbies out there.
Yeah, and along with that, like other things you can do that are more like, like self-soothing. It's more like, taking a bubble bath, like that relaxes you, maybe with a cup of wine next to you, or even like, exercise or do yoga or even meditate, before bed or after you wake up. Those are things that you can do to take care of yourself. And, lighting up your favorite candle while you do any of those, things, like taking your bubble bath and even meditating. That's something that will probably help you, feel better, when you have that scent and just like, thinking about other things. It's something that, it's definitely self-care.
It's a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to close it with the last tip, which is my favorite. Take a nap or sleep in. Like, that's crucial. Like, every weekend, like I might not have done anything on self-care, but I always make sure to choose Saturday or Sunday to sleep in. Like this weekend, Saturday I slept in. Sunday I woke up early because I knew, okay, I got that. Like my body knows that it rested. So rest on. And now I just want to, after you guys hearing our personal stories, just want to make sure that you have noticed that self-love and self-care is different for everyone. The important thing is discovering why it's important. Like that self-discovery is also very important along with it. I hope that after you guys hearing that John and I have had two different perspectives, that you start thinking of, como dije, haciendo la mejor versión de ti. So start embracing who you are, and the self-love will start to build up. Remember that Jana and I are here for you guys. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram, make sure to follow us and we can connect that way if you are feeling a little bit lost on how to start. Porque dígame, like, I never thought I would be over here talking about self-love. So if that's you, let's connect. And remember, that's why we are beyond grateful to connect via this space, empowering Latinas. And something that I was saying, like, to John, like, I want to start hearing, like, from you guys, feedback from you guys. So we would love and appreciate your review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So, chicas, ya saben, desen un abrazo, desen un beso, mírense en el espejo, blow yourself a kiss. That's something I've been doing that I would never really do because I would feel awkward, pero do a little something for yourself today and every day. Hasta luego, hasta la próxima. Ciao.
Bye.